So, what is a flowchart? A flowchart is a picture or graphical representation of sequence of steps to solve a problem. A flowchart gives a step-by-step procedure of the solution. By looking at a flowchart, one can understand the operations and the sequence of operations performed in a system. So basically, it provides a bird's eye view of the structure and the sequence of the problem with different geometric shapes and directional arrows from top to bottom and left to right. So here we have very simple flowchart which shows the steps in making a cup of tea. When we move to applications of flowcharts, usually computer professionals use flowcharts to explore and create new programs such as different applications and commercial software packages. So basically we can categorize flowcharts into two different types as program flowcharts and system flowcharts. So when we move to program flowcharts, these are used by computer programmers. We could see these flowcharts broadly includes program structure, logic of the program, data inputs and outputs, data processing like computations and calculations, again conditions on which decisions are based, branchings and loopings. These kind of things are included in program flowcharts. So in this certificate program, we will focus on program flowcharts. When we are drawing a flowcharts, following standard symbols are commonly used. First symbol is oval. Oval shape is used to indicate the terminals of the flowchart. It represents start and end of the flowcharts, and remember every flowchart has unique start and unique end. Next one is parallelogram. Parallelogram is used for input and output operation. Thus, if there is any input to the program via input devices like keyboard, tape, card readers, it will be indicated in the flowchart with the help of input output symbol. Similarly, input output instructions, all output instructions to the output devices like printers, plotters, magnetic tapes, disk, monitors, these are indicated in input output symbol. Rectangle. Rectangle is used to represent processes. Basically, it represents arithmetic and data movement instructions in the flowchart. Diamond or decision making symbol. The decision symbol is used in flowchart to indicate point at which a decision has to be made and a branch to one of two or more alternative points are possible. Next one is flow lines. Usually flow lines are solid lines with arrowheads used to indicate the flow of operation. Actually, that is the exact sequence in which the instructions are to be executed. Last one is circle or connecting symbol. It is indicated by a circle. Here, a letter or digit placed inside the circle. This letter or digit indicates a link to another section of the flowchart. While using the flowcharting symbols, following points have to be kept in mind. The shape of the symbol is very important and must not be changed. When you draw flowcharts, the size of the flowcharts can be changed as you required, and the symbol must be immediately recognizable. Another important thing is details inside the symbol, so it must be clearly legible. Then flow lines, as far as possible, they must not be crossed. So when you are developing flowcharts, following step would be helpful you to obtain desired output. First, you need to define the problem and identify the various steps required to form the solution. Here you need to determine the required input and output parameters and the various computations and decisions involved. So then finally you can obtain the expected output. Let's take a simple example. Example number 1. Flowchart to add two numbers. In this flowchart, output would be the sum of any given two numbers. So, problem requires three variables to represent two input numbers and another variable to represent summation or addition of two numbers. Let's begin the flowchart. So, use start block to begin the flowchart. Then, declarations of variables. Specifying initial value of variables at the beginning of computer program is very important and it's a good programming practice. Therefore, following same practice, initialize variables at the second stage. Initialization of variables is a process and use rectangle here. Then read two numbers from keyboard N1 and N2. They are inputs to the program, so parallelogram is used. Next step is getting addition and it is an arithmetic calculation. Therefore, rectangle is used. Thereafter, displaying the result through monitor is output and use parallelogram. Finally, desired output is obtained and stop the flowchart with terminating symbol. Let's move to another example. Example number 2. Flowchart to determine the greatest of two numbers. To prepare a flowchart to determine the greatest of two numbers, we use decision symbol with other flowcharting symbols. The steps involving developing this flowchart are: first, start the flowchart with start block. Then initialize variables. Here only two variables are required and we'll take them as A and B. Next, read two numbers A and B. Now check the greatest number using the decision symbol as A is greater than B using comparative operator. If A is greater than B, we need to print A, else need to print B. Finally, after getting expected output, flowchart stop with the terminating symbol.